What's up, you guys? And thank you for tuning in to an all-new episode of Point of View. Happy Thursday.
I thought it was Friday.
No, it's not always Friday.
Get your days together.
It don't make no sense.
Well, it's a new day. It's a blessed day. And we got a good episode ahead of us, you guys. Now, whether you are a believer or not, you may enjoy this topic because we are touching on some common misconceptions about Christianity. Popular gospel artist Kirk Franklin recently sparked controversy on social media with his thoughts on single women over 35 and marriage. Kirk believes that marriage, giving, and sexuality have been weaponized in Western Christianity. Take a look at this clip.
Sure. Don't be no 30, 35-year-old single black woman and go to the family reunion. All the older women are going to do nothing. They're going to look at you and wonder and question you and challenge you on what? Why you not married?
Where your man at? Where your kids at? All that.
Like it's a prerequisite for identity and value, that if you don't have a man, if you don't have kids, that something about you is broken. Do you understand how dysfunctional these messages are?
Yeah.
And how we super spiritualize these messages?
Absolutely agree with him, but I don't think it starts at 35. I think it starts all the way from when we are super young. Like, honestly, it's embedded into our heads. Like, you guys ever, like, watch even Disney princess movies? They're rooted in, oh, we're supposed to find a Prince Charming and then he's gonna live happily ever after. And it makes it seem like for women, that's our end all be all and that's the dream and whatnot. So I feel like it's embedded into us from when we're kids. And then I feel like once you turn pretty much 18, your parents are already asking you, all right, well,
where your man at?
Well, yeah, where's the man? I'm like, dabbling in the dating world. And I even had a guy told me, like, why are you single? Are you crazy? I don't know. Like, why don't you have someone? Like, why aren't you married? And it's like, oh, I mean, can I just be me without like having to be anchored by a man? Like, can I just be myself? Can I still be a good person without, having to have a man, So yeah, I just think it's wild that is like Kirk said, it is like a prerequisite, for being a good woman is having a man or whatever,
I probably am gonna be the 35-year-old at the cookout
with the little two-step,
right?
But you're gonna be lit.
Yeah, they're gonna be asking me where my man at.
Waiting on
wherever
the
they at.
Honestly, yeah. But what do you guys think about it?
So at first I didn't want to just get caught up in the clip. So I like Cam Newton's podcast, and I did watch this episode. Originally, I felt like a part of me wanted to like come to the defense of Christianity, you know. But one, God doesn't need us to defend him, like legit. Like we just got to show up. He gonna do the rest,
Right.
But I do agree also with what Kirk Franklin said. Just getting the full context of him breaking it down, and he was pretty much just talking about how when him and his wife got together, they weren't really ready, or he wasn't really ready, but, someone at the church he was going to told him, like, hey, that other girl you're dating isn't your wife, this is your wife. They literally went home, looked at rings, got married, and that was it. So he's saying that not that was a bad thing, but because they weren't ready at that point, he took his wife through so much trauma that, maybe he could have unpacked, had he had that time, versus jumping right into marriage. But there is also the chance that had he not been with her, he may not have worked through those things, because it's all part of God's plan anyways. But I do believe now that society, not just Christianity, but, a Christianity also. But I feel like if I was in a church and, someone told me, hey, you need to get married to do this or to do that, I'm gonna go find me another church. Like, simple as that. Like, if I don't feel like God is saying this to me, and I think that people misconstrue that a lot, as they're going through their religious ideals, they're not studying to show themselves approved. They're not having a personal relationship with God to be able to discern the voice of God. The Bible says that, my sheep know my voice, and the voice of a stranger will not follow. But because people tend to look for so much in church and people sometimes, they're following strangers.
That's absolutely true. I so believe that as well.
I think that Christians get so caught up in the scripture of when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing. So they just constantly want to push that good thing onto people, and then also children, multiply. That's the goal, right? But essentially, it's just it puts this pressure, unrealistic pressure on people, and it makes people asking a question shouldn't be offensive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm a strong believer of take the good, leave the rest.
Right.
You know, so them asking a question, if you're 35 and a woman and you haven't had children yet, that could be a health concern. Like,
yeah,
at this point, can you, are you trying to, you know what I mean? Like, because if you're waiting, some people want to wait till their career's at a certain place, and we were talking about the ladder. Oh, I want to achieve this goal.
Yeah.
But then
when
achieve
you get
the
it,
goal,
the ladder
then
moves
it
up.
keeps moving up, it keeps moving up, but then it just decreases your ability to have kids. And I think that's one part. And then also with the marriage, it is true when you go to church and you see leaders, they're all married.
Yeah.
The youth leader, the pastor, like it's like this. It's almost like a prerequisite, this requirement to you must be married. But at the same time,
to like set an example.
But at the same time, I listened to this podcast. It's Doing Life with Ken and Tabitha, and they're a Christian couple.
Yeah.
I love them down, right? But they said that they have been married for 25 years, and the last 23 years of their life has been amazing.
Yeah.
Like.
And so it was rocky.
So he's saying the first 2 years they just rushed into this, thinking that okay, I'm a Christian. He's a Christian man. I'm a Christian woman. I want to be in the church. That's what I have to do. I'm supposed to do this. So they rushed into it. In the first 2 years, it was horrible. It was torture.
The church, I find the church does sometimes force marriage onto people. My sister, with her ex, they were going to this church, and she said that they were always in his ear saying like, hey, when are you going to marry her? You guys like live together, and even almost everybody in the ministry, if they're dating someone, they usually marry within like a year or two. But Kirk did touch on this as well. Take a look at this clip.
Do you know that there are some people, I have many friends that were in ministry at church, and the church has told them, if you're going to be in ministry, you can't be single. We're not going to let you work with the youth ministry if you're single. You can't do this if you're single. And so what people do, they quickly get married, thinking that they're fulfilling God's will for their lives, but they are fulfilling man's dogma.
It's man's dogma.
It's like a ideal,
set by man.
Yeah. That they're trying to prove that this is like irrefutable. This is what you have to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of like the fairy tale, like, dogma, like, oh, you have to find your Prince Charming, and then this is just the way. Like, this is just the way, and this is the ultimate goal that we should all reach. Okay. So that's pretty much what it is.
Honestly, I don't see anything wrong with marriage and pushing people into that. Because eventually people do need a little bit of a push.
Yeah.
If a lot of people that come to the church are coming to the church for healing and direction, and a good direction. Now, I'm not 100% like, oh, don't push them into marriage. Now, should we guide them and be like, because at the end of the day, I am a strong believer of a family must be whole. Yeah. Don't come to be a godly family, you must do the right steps. My aunt told me, for me and my relationship, we need to be doing the right things. We have a child. We have lived together. Marriage is like the next step. So we are getting the right push because that's what we're supposed to do.
I don't think that's a push. I think that's a guide, because sometimes in church, I do find they are super, super pushy. And I'm not going to lie, even as a woman, I don't want a man to have to be pushed into proposing to me. I want you to want to do that. You know what I mean? I don't want the church to like have to put a bug in your ear for you to
somebody
like
have to
move.
ask you like,
no,
when you gonna marry
but
her?
it's not a push, and it's sometimes they need that bug.
Sometimes they need good information.
And then in my mind, that's guidance because you were already in that direction. I'm just going to show you how to get there in the healthiest way, rather than like, pushing you in that direction and then guiding you. I feel like it's more healthy to like, I don't know. That's my opinion. Yeah.
I get what you're saying. But I think, playing off of what you both were saying, a little bit, Janiyah, too, I think that there isn't necessarily anything really wrong with, that kind of guidance or kind of like, helping people to do what is, I guess the biblical structure. Mm-hmm. But, even in, and Kirk Franklin said it, too, that something he said about marriage. The Bible said that marriage is a necessary distraction, but the Bible also says that it's better to marry than to burn. So I feel like a lot of churches are trying to help people because they know, hey, if you guys are living together, 10 times out of 10, 9 times out of 10, for the ones that want to act like they're not the 1%.
Right.
But, they're not being sexually active, or they are being sexually active. And so they're saying, in that aspect, we already know what's going on, and we don't want this to be the thing that if you're doing everything else, you're coming to church, you're being diligent, you're, having a personal relationship with God, for this sexual thing to keep you from going where you're trying to
it's
go.
like you might as well like get married if you're happy.
Yeah, if you're all gonna do all that.
Right, exactly. If you were doing all that, you might as well, for sure. Yeah. I just like, I don't know, I just hate the pressure that is just put on women, just to get married. It's as if like, I mean, I would love to be married one day, don't get me wrong, but like the pressure on women who probably don't even care to be married, you can literally live a happy life unmarried.
Single.
Yeah, you can live a happy life single. You can live a happy life like, thotting and bopping if you want.
Oh Lord, yeah, you might not go where you're trying to go, but you can be happy.
Gonna have a great
But you know what I did want to say, touching on women being, 22, 25, 35 and not having children, in society putting pressure on them. It's so crazy, and that's why it's so important to know God for yourself, because Sarah didn't have her child in the Bible till she was 90 years old. So who are you to pass judgment on someone else to say whether it may not be a health issue, this may legit be God's plan for their life, but now you telling me I'm no good because I'm 36. God ain't saying to me I was have a baby till I was 57.
Well, God ain't implanting babies now in people.
Right. I just feel like as a society, we just need to learn to mind our business. That's just my thing. Mind your business.
I can't say what God is doing.
The Lord is implanting
I can't say what he's not doing.
Well, you guys, conversations for another day. You have to take a short break. Don't go anywhere. You're watching POV. Welcome back, and if you're just now tuning in, you're watching POV. So we are back with some girl chat. So the term for better or for worse is thrown on very loosely when it comes to marriage. Here's an interesting scenario. A woman's fiance says that he needs $250,000 to finish paying off his criminal fees from a previous domestic violence case before the two can walk down the aisle. Take a look at this clip.
With me and parole and still paying restitution, it's an astronomical amount that I have to give to them in order to make sure I'm off. And we're talking a little under 250,000.
Christian is on probation from a case 10 years ago that is still affecting his life. I knew about the restitution since day one. However, I didn't know the number. We have this extravagant wedding that is going to cost somewhere near that.
So for context, this is a clip from the hit show Basketball Wives, VH1's hit show Basketball Wives. What's her name again? Jennifer. Yeah. Jennifer is supposed to be walking down the aisle with this criminal or ex-criminal. I'm just kidding.
Jennifer, and we do love.
I do like Jennifer for sure, but 250,000 is
Basketball
wild.
Wives.
Yeah, Basketball Wives. Yeah.
I just feel like for me, like Jennifer is a beautiful, successful, woman, and she doesn't have any kids. Girl, run.
Yeah.
Run.
No,
and
because
do not.
she paying for the wedding.
No, it really in her ring. Like you need to run like immediately, because I just feel like I don't know any woman at her age that would take on a grown man's debt of $250K.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
What do you want me to do with that? Like,
honestly.
Like, I would have probably laughed in his face. I'm so sorry. I would have probably laughed in his face and would have been like, look, sir, this is over.
Yeah.
Until you figure that out, like, this is completely over. Like,
yeah, I just think it's wild. He said it was like a previous domestic, something, and
what did you do?
Like, who did you hit? Michelle Obama?
He said it a little bit later in that clip. He said that I guess him and his ex had got into it or something, and he was like holding a door or something like that, and he was like, I didn't do anything. Sir, did you take the door off the hinges and hit the woman
with the door?
Because what? There's no way it's $250K and you did nothing.
No, he's for sure lying.
Y'all
about
was
something.
arguing and you was standing in front of the doorway.
A good lawyer.
And you did nothing to her.
Yeah,
$250K is not no chum change.
No, he said an astronomical amount of money, so he already knew that before he even asked her.
It's giving he looking for a lick.
I'm concerned. Legit. No, he think Jennifer finna be his sugar mama, and maybe she already is.
Maybe because he was comfortable asking.
Yeah, I'm for sure concerned for Jennifer because, like, if you follow the show, you know that she is like been wanting this romantic love story for the longest, and I don't want her to get like cheated or slighted, because that's too much. Like, no, or if they really love each other, then maybe he can make more money once they get together and they're married. She can help him have his own business. Anyway. Who knows? But if they're gonna get married, they're gonna get married with that debt, that $250,000, baby. And you better put some stuff in your business name and figure it out if you really love this man, because paying that is crazy.
And why?
Imagine paying that and then he like, all right, well, got a blast.
Yeah, that would have had to be written into the blast no Jimmy.
No, it definitely has to be.
I can pay $5,000 a year towards it, and in 10 years, if we still together, I pay the rent.
No, that is his responsibility. 100%.
Absolutely,
for sure.
Because you did that.
Yeah,
you did that way before I got here. I have nothing to do with this, and you expected me to help you pay this debt.
He was like asking her to pay that. I'm not gonna lie.
But you ever asking her, it shows she's paying for something.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was so comfortable.
Yeah,
he was so comfortable.
And she didn't even flinch. She was just like, well. Like, there was no flinching. Like, she was a little surprised at the number. I think the number took her back a little bit, but it wasn't like, oh, okay, like, I'm not gonna do it. It was kind of like, okay, well, now the world knows, so like, it's either do or die now.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a celebrity faced with a bum. And, sorry, I'm just kidding. So this is a celebrity faced with I honestly
faced with a scammer.
A scammer, probably, who knows? But we're joking. But nonetheless, this is a celebrity who's faced with someone else, right? Yeah. Now, given a regular person, I think something that more so aligns with that would probably be somebody coming to you with maybe a lot of student debt. Like student loan debt or credit card debt, because once y'all are married, that's for y'all.
Yeah.
It's not just for them anymore.
Hello.
So would that be a deal breaker for you guys?
If it was $250K?
Student loans can be $250K easily.
If it's $250K and you're not actively like working towards it before we actually got together, and then you expect for me to come in and just take the load off, yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah.
I would hope at this point in life, and with Jennifer's status, she should be, I know money is not everything, but she should be with someone that's in better financial standing, that they can do things for themselves, because that's what I'm going to do, baby.
Right.
Yeah.
Even if you have...
be able to provide for her.
Yeah, even if you have $250,000 of debt, we going to figure out a way to get that paid.
Right.
Before we get married. and I'm not paying.
If I gotta pimp you out, that's what we gotta do. I'm just kidding.
Not pimp you out, Lord.
I'm just kidding.
Pimp you out. But my biggest thing is like, why would she not have that conversation? Like, she said she always knew about it from day one.
Yeah.
Okay.
She
then
just didn't know the number.
Day one.
Yeah.
How much?
Yeah.
How much? Like, what?
He's been on probation for 10 years.
It's crazy. But from what point in a relationship do y'all feel like we gotta have that money talk? What's your credit score? What's your savings?
I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like 3 months. No, I feel like 3 months.
3 months?
Into dating or like into the relationship? Into dating.
I need to know before the relationship.
Okay.
I need to know before the relationship because like I'm dating
what am
to
I
marry.
signing up for?
Yeah, I need to know what I'm signing up for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I need to know how much you make in 3 months.
I feel that.
Like honestly, I need to know that. I need to know what my future could look like. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
If
I want to go for that ride,
but that's probably not going to be an accurate depiction of what your future can look like. When I think about my relationship, if I went off of what it looked like then,
baby, it wouldn't be
but
here.
you no. That's I feel okay. I so get you, but you also met your partner when you were younger. So I think you like that's more so of the mindset of, when we're younger, we accept a little bit more because we're probably not even all the way there yet.
Right.
Being where I am today, you know what I mean? I actually like have my stuff together. Yeah. I would like to be like, with someone who also has their stuff together. Not saying they have to make the same exact amount or more or whatever, but say if you make less, but you're actually pursuing a further education. Yeah. We have to look at all of that. You know what I mean? That's my take on that. But yeah.
I agree. I didn't know.
Right.
I mean, but there's certain with Miriam. I mean, but there's certain ways you could tell like someone's financial status.
Mm-hmm. When they slick ask you for $250K.
No.
Okay.
No. First of all, they're already on the way to the aisle. I'm sorry, we're not making it to the aisle,
right?
Because that's crazy.
That's
crazy. First of all, I'm not having a $250,000 wedding. It's
and why $250,000 still at $250? Why isn't it now at like $150?
Or where was it before? Because he's been on probation for 10 years.
He probably ain't paid $1 on
dollar.
Okay, so that tells his
like,
financial status.
You
would know somebody's financial status. Do they get bill collector calls? Does that 1-800 number always calling them and they're always declining it?
Yeah.
But we all get that scam.
No. Let me not ignore calling on Janiyah.
Right. I'll be like, Miriam, you got some credit cards?
Okay. You got some bills you got
to pay. So it's things like that. Then on top of that, what is your habits? Do you use your credit card a lot?
Yeah.
Or are you pulling out cash? Or are you using debit a lot? You got to look at that stuff, ladies.
Yeah.
Also, what kind of car? I know it sounds horrible, but what kind of car they drive? Because
no.
Italians not.
I agree. I don't care.
No. So what I want to know
is, care
if someone is not in a super great financial standing, does that necessarily equate that you can't trust them in other areas of life?
That they can't. That they probably
you can't trust them with your finances.
They can't court you. I'm a woman that likes to be courted. I'm sorry, Talia. I like to be courted,
but I was courted by a man when he had next to nothing.
I'm living.
How was you courted?
We were young.
We went places.
But you know what sold him to you? The fact that he probably didn't have anything, but he made a way. This man ain't even making a way.
He's not even trying. He's just standing there like,
there is no way.
Can I have a liquor?
That cup. No, he's holding the plate that you pass around at church. The offering plate. He's shaking it real hard.
Please.
Oh my gosh. But no, I honestly pray that what was her name again? I'm sorry. Jennifer. I honestly pray that she's not falling victim to. I mean, in the first segment, if you guys missed it, you can catch the reruns. But fall victim to what Kirk Franklin was saying earlier. Women who are over 35 and they feel like they have to get married because of
they need a relationship
dogma. Exactly.
Yeah.
I hope she's not saying, oh well, I'm this age and my biological clock is ticking. And this is the man in front of me, so let me just make it work.
That ain't no man. That's a boy.
It is a boy, girl.
He legit is a boy because I think he is way younger than her, and the fact that it was 10 years ago, he's given maybe 28, so that probably was 18. See, we didn't think about that.
Before he considered a bar.
Wow.
Yeah, he got in some trouble.
Yeah.
And being
he's
stupid.
Still burping breast milk.
And now he's trying to get somebody else to pay for it. I wholeheartedly believe that if she does fund the money for the domestic violence case, he's gone.
Oh, absolutely.
He is flying out the door and out the relationship. He might stay a little bit longer, but they're not getting married.
He's gonna stay a little long to get like maybe a little Lambo, maybe a McLaren, a Rollie, you know.
That's a lot.
He's probably gonna tell her to transfer the money to his account, and then he's gonna pay the court fees.
Oh my goodness.
I
just don't understand how successful women are not finding these successful men. Like, what happened
where
to
are you looking?
Why can't we get a Rihanna and a Rocky?
I don't know. It's like once women become successful, the successful men hide. I don't know what happens, but you know
they run away. Oh, she's shining too bright for me.
Well, I don't know. I hope it works out for Jennifer and her future, future ex-husband. But you guys, we are running out of time. Catch us back here tomorrow here at AFROTV. Bye.